Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen our, let me get this over here. The website, you should see the chat pop up with that web address, pcctl.weebly.com.
I see that, yes.
Okay, so on the site here, I'm just going to go ahead and start, and if we get the other person to come in, they can always pick up the recording. But I just wanted to go over, I kind of put together this list of things where I get asked, you know, how do I find copyright-free images? How do I find cool vectors, icons, all kinds of different design elements, as you know. And I've gone through and we've done the part where we go to Google and we'll look for something like Apple. And then you can go to the images here. This is your web findings. We go to images and you can see that it'll pull up all kinds of things with Apple's in it, just based on images, but you can go to tools. You can search by color. So you notice how there's a red theme overall. If I go to green, you'll see that it picks up things that are trending with green. So when you're looking for, or orange, you wouldn't think there was more orange, but so if you're looking for dominant colors in a search, pink, here we go.
And that's under tools.
That's under tools, correct. So if you're looking for particular sizes, sometimes when you click on something, it's a smaller size. This one you can see at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it really well, but it's a larger size image. Well, sometimes you get one that's only 512 by 512 and you're looking for larger images. Again, under the tools settings, when we're doing this image search, you can look at the variety of sizes. And then you have specifications where you could actually tell it how big of a picture you want. Like here's 70 megapixels, which is huge. And believe it or not, there's probably something in there that has like a 70 megapixel Apple out there. But yeah, all these little switches here help you refine those image searches. Google's probably one of the main tools that I recommend when you're just doing general image searches. Again, one of the things that we're very cognizant of is this section right here with usage rights. By default, it's going to show you everything that's available out on the web. And that's good because you can get an idea of what's out there. But when we're talking about using materials in papers to use on websites, we want to make sure if we're using it properly, we cite it properly, or that we're not breaking copyright restrictions by using it in any of our designs. So one of the things you can do is under usage rights, you could say labeled for reuse with modification, which means these are things that are out in the domain where the authors, creators have given you access to it to use the image and reuse it however you want. Sometimes they may require you to have accredit them with it. Sometimes they don't. So, but you really can't tell when you're in Google. I mean, it has some powerful tools. So one of the things I've done here is I'm going to get out of Google and I'm going to go back to our resource site. And I've curated and put together a list of some really amazing resources for more sure free resources that you can use without having to worry about breaking copyright and going through Google. So where we find that is on our pcctl.weebly site. If you go to resources and then you go to the instructional media tab here and you click on it, right up in this right corner here, I created this list looking for free photos, graphics, icons, editing tools, and more. Look no further. So when we click on this, this resource has all kinds of links to all these different sites and sources for all kinds of different things. So really quickly here, I just want to go through some of these to show you how to navigate through depending on what you're looking for. One of the top areas that I recommend is called Pixabay. So when I click on this, we're going to go into Pixabay. The nice thing about Pixabay is 99% of the images that you're going to find on there are in public domain or CCO, which is Creative Commons. They're just basically open. Again, if we wanted to look for apples, we can go in here and now you get some very high quality, high size images here that you, if you look over to the side right here, CCO, Creative Commons, this is free for commercial use, no attribution required. So we take out that mystery of making sure we do proper attribution. Do we actually have the rights to use it, how we're using it? Pixabay allows you to find all these images and other materials and use them without having to worry about copyright infringement. It's really nice. You can sign up for some of these. If you log into your Maricopa Gmail account, and then you're in the same browser and you go to Pixabay, you can simply click on the Google login. It will create an account under your Maricopa login. So all you have to do when you come back is click the Google Plus, and it will sign you in there. What's nice when you, excuse me, when you do get signed in is you can save favorites. You can upload some of your own images to share out with the community and different things, but none of that's required. You're able to
Do
find
everything without
images,
signing in.
free downloads right off the bat without even having to worry about that. There are categories. You'll notice that each image within Pixabay, at the bottom here, it's going to have all the different tags that it can find this image under. So when you're doing searches, the metadata, the tags that are in there help you refine your searches quite a bit. So you can see that if you wanted, you know, red flower, you can type in red and obviously it'll pick up more red flowers. Now, again, similar to what Google has, in here we can look by what's the most popular, what are the latest uploads, editor's choice. They go through and curate the materials and say, oh my God, if you were looking for a red flower, this is like the top hit of what we like. So you have editor's choice. Along with images, we have vector graphics, and we'll talk a little bit more about that just here in a second, illustrations, and of course, video. Orientation, a lot of times we don't want a landscape photo that's longer this way. We want it longer up and down in a portrait. So we can go between horizontal and vertical. Again, we can look within categories. We can look by sizes. And then their color trends are a little different than what Google does. So you can pick multiples. So if I wanted to select red and say go, it's going to find items that are more red. You can see that it pulls up a dominant red color, but you can stack colors. So if I pick red and green, you'll see at the top here, it's going to pick a blend of those. And we go from fully red to red and green look in there instead of just red. So a little different than what you find on Google, but still super powerful, super amazing. Again, we can go into videos. And here you can find some cool videos if you had a use for a video. These are all royalty-free. Free to use as well. So if you ever have a need for that, I use these a lot of times for backgrounds. So if I'm looking for a background video or such, caps lock's on. So if I needed something that had just little flowery backgrounds or something like that, I can find them there.
So would that background be filling your whole window?
Yes. Yeah. So, well, with videos, and this is just under video. So if you're looking for like photos of backgrounds, what they're going to be is some neutral things. Say you wanted some wood that you want to create a poster and you needed a wood background or a forest background. You can grab these. Most of the images on Pixabay and a lot of these are going to be very high quality, very big size, so they can fill full pages and you can use them however you want. But I mean, some of the photos on here like this for in Creative Commons, they haven't access to an image like this. Back in the day, we'd pay hundreds of dollars to be able to use that in an advertisement. And here, everything is free at this point. So kind of cool.
If you were, let's say you were using Pixabay, then embedding, so you wanted to embed a picture in a canvas, let's say. So size-wise, what would be the best fit? Assuming our users frequently aren't necessarily using a full-size screen, they're using a smaller screen. What would you suggest size-wise would be the best?
Well, with Canvas and certain other, like Canvas in particular, if you put an image in there, and usually your bigger images are going to be maybe 500 to 600 pixels wide or tall. 400 wide by like 550 wide by about 400 tall is as big as you really want to go. But as you go to, like, if you were to go into the Canvas app and be going in there, it will scale in size to the phone size or tablet size, depending on what you're viewing through. So it's how it looks in the design of what you're trying to do on screen. You can import large images. Now you have to be careful. Like this one you'll see is 5,757 by 3,000. So it is a huge image. We wouldn't want to put that big of an image in there. When you add any image, no matter the size in Canvas, you can grab a corner and shrink it down, and you could make it just a small little image that looks small on the screen. You have to remember in the background, it's taking that huge 5,000 by 3,000 image and just shrinking it down for view. It's still having to load the whole image. So that's why I said normally somewhere around 550 by 400 or 300, somewhere right in there, where your width and height is what we're looking for in Canvas and other areas.
Okay.
Let me get back out of this one. So another one that I really use a lot is FreePick. Now, FreePick does have photos. Pixabay is kind of like the main area for photos, whereas FreePick, if you're looking for graphics, you can see here, a lot of these are Photoshop graphics, buttons, designs, and things that people create using Illustrator, Photoshop, and different programs. So this is a little bit different. So if I do a search for apples, we're going to see a mix between, here we have little icons and things.
Yeah.
But you can also see that you're going to find, this is the freebie version. It comes up with a few advertisements. Once you log in, again, up at the top here, if you log in with your Google Maricopa account, the same way you did with Pixabay, where you log into your account and then click login, click login through Google, it'll get rid of a lot of the advertising, and you do get access to quite a few more images. But in here, you'll see you do have some access to images, but a lot of these are also graphics. You have to be careful. Some of these will be premium content that ask you to pay fees. So you do have to pay attention to the what you're downloading and what you're using. In most cases, though, when you find content that is free, they'll tell you it's free and you have to have some type of slight attribution on there. So, but they go through all of that and you don't have to worry about it. They just copy and paste it from the documentation that you get from them, and you can put it right into your document, your website, or whatever you need. So a little bit different again from Pixabay. This focuses more on the graphics and vectors and little drawn images over Pixabay, which is more like photos. But an excellent resource. I use this a lot for a lot of the design work I do. There's a few other ones, and on this page here, if you look under each one of these different designs or different sites, I give you a brief description of what is going to be required of you if you have to have an account, if you don't have an account, what it focuses on mainly. Pixels is another nice site. What they do is they go out and find all these different excellent pictures on other sites, even like Pixabay and FreePick, and they pull them into their interface and allow you to surf through the higher quality images without going something like maybe I uploaded that I thought's an amazing shot. These are actually curated high quality shots. You can see through this front page. A lot of this is professional photographers will have accounts on this type of site to be able to get exposure. So they might only upload 7 pictures, but they'll be super high quality. I mean, you can tell that that's not an amateur photo by any means. So just again, same type of thing. You go to the front page, they categorize pieces, you do your searches however you need to, using your key terms and everything. They don't allow you, as we go down these, they don't allow you to drill into pictures as much because they have less content, so they don't tag them. But you get different returns and different design elements based on what the sites are. So this one, Pixels, is high quality. Another one, designerpix.com, another one. This is another high quality site, again, free. You can tell these isolate a lot of elements. So you'll have singular elements. These make really good backgrounds and things like that. What's the other one that I wanted to show you? Life in Pix. Oh, so those top ones are just general pieces, and some of them do kind of focus on some specific things, but overall, they're just like general pictures. Here's one for public domain pictures, has a ton out there. But one of the ones that I found that was kind of cool is if you're looking for historical photos, a lot of times these other sites don't allow you to find those very easily. So especially if in the library, somebody's coming over and they need historical photos for something, there's a couple that I put in here that allow you to do that. The one that I really like is the center one. So the Smithsonian has created and curated an area through Flickr collecting all these old photos. And as you can see, you have access to basically some of the Smithsonian Institute's photo records that are public domain as well. Now, you don't want to search up the top here just outright. You'll notice right here in the actual stream below, there is a search. Well, if you watch up at the top here, when I click it, it adds in the Smithsonian and photos. So now when I search, say I was looking for buildings, now it's going to go through the Smithsonian's repository of information, give you those images in their archives that are public resources that you can use. And as you can see, just some amazing photos out there that you can click on, download, and use those. So another different twist on finding images. If you're looking for historical images, this would be a better place to look instead of maybe going through Pixabay and having to type in historical old photo 1920, and it might find some of those, but this gives you a better resource.
In this Smithsonian Flickr, click on there if you would again.
Yep.
So you said you should be searching down by the search, the lower portion, yes.
Yes.
That would be the preference to search by.
Well, what happens is if
it throws it up there.
Here,
that's what you were saying, that it throws it up.
So when you click here, you'll notice in the regular search, it adds the Smithsonian channel and photos. If you weren't to do that, what ends up happening, if I were just to type buildings up here, it's going to just search buildings throughout all of Flickr. So you're outside of the Smithsonian's channel,
okay,
and then you run into all the same things you normally do with Flickr.
Okay, I wasn't seeing exactly what you were doing there. So yes.
Perfect. Yeah, I click on this, which automatically adds those tags, and now I'm searching within Smithsonian's collection.
Okay.
And you can see they have a lot of. You can go by albums. You can look at their favorites. So there's a lot of way to go through their information and their archives of information, which is really amazing. I go through and I just look at old photos just for fun. It's just kind of cool to see the differences in there. Wikimedia Commons also allows you to do some searches. This is a kind of an interesting one. It's called New Old Stock. Doesn't have a lot of photos, but it's got some really not easily found photos when you go through and look at some of this material that's in there. So you might not find exactly what you're looking for, but some of the photos are just amazing to go through and look at. So just another resource that's out there. And those are the general photo and vector design places. What I go into next is kind of design ideas. So if you're creating posters, graphics, or anything like that, a lot of times what I do is I'll have ideas of kind of what I want, but maybe I don't know what colors I want to do, or I want to get a design idea. So I can always go here, click on things, and I can go, oh, that's kind of a neat thing to do with this little rounded edge at the top. So I go here for design inspiration. If I click on colors, it will bring up designs within a color look, so you can go through. These aren't things that you would download and use, but it's just basically design inspiration. Yeah. One of the things that I get asked a lot for is icons. So a little what we call symbolism and iconography is the small icons that you see that indicate how to do an action or where to find something. So an example for Canvas is when I help faculty design courses, I recommend that they use a book icon anytime they're talking about a reading and they're going through assignments that a student's going to do for a section. Is they might have an assignment icon, a book icon, and use a discussion icon. So if a student loads the page and they're looking for the readings and they see that book icon, they immediately know, it's triggered in the mind to go, oh, that's where the reading is. So there's an site here called Flat Icon, which doesn't seem to be active right now. That's patterns. For some reason, this link isn't working, but Flat Icon, it's run by the same people that do FreePick, and it allows you to click in there, do searches for, you know, whatever you want, and it'll pull up small icons. I wonder if I could just pull it up this way. Let me just go this way real quick. Flat Icon. There we go. I'll update that link. I don't know why it's not there, but then they show you like packs of things. So if I was looking for icons for education, here's all the different individual icons that you can have. You have color. So here's one that if you're talking about a reading piece, here's one that you might be talking about assessment. It has the little check mark over there, or here's one for an assignment. So you can find icons that you can use in your design, either for classes or if you're doing any other type of design for posters, flyers, whatever you might be doing. These do require you to give attribution, but it's extensive here. As you can see, it pulls up an ad, but you have like sizes that you can do. It'll give you options for colors, but as you go to download it, it's going to tell you how you can do attribution right here. Really good site though. Again, it takes the guesswork out of having to know how to do proper attribution for your content authors. So somewhere on a website, a page, you just put that as a footnote at the bottom, icons by blah, 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 whatever they have you paste there. Last couple things here. Fonts. One of the things I get asked a lot about is how you can do different fonts for designs. Well, Google to the rescue. They have such a huge selection, 877 different free fonts that you can go in, find something that looks like what you want. Say you wanted a heavier look. You can go in here, see what it looks like, make it bigger, smaller, and then you can always go down to where they give you these links and go and download those fonts and install them in your system and use those fonts. So
it just adds them into the
system itself.
Okay.
So it's a little outside. If you do need to install fonts and you need help with that, you can always give me a call or IT and just have them help you with installing fonts. Once you learn the process, on a Mac, it's super easy. We have a thing called Font Book here, and we download it and then just drag stuff in here. And you can see that I have tons and tons and tons of fonts for different styles of whatever I need. So, but it's a great way to add different looks to designs. So if you're doing a banner or anything like that, you can always use different fonts. A lot of the programs that you're going to be using do have quite a few fonts in there, so don't be afraid to explore. And then there's a few other sites there. The last couple things I'm going to go into, I'm not going to talk about ChartGo because you can go in and you can create charts. It's if you're a person that uses charts a lot, you have these different types of charts. You can add in all your metadata and points on here, how you want to do it with legends and everything. You create the line graph and it's going to create these wonderful pieces that you can just simply download. So if you use charts a lot and you have the data that you need to put on there, this will allow you to plug it in and do it in a whole bunch of different ways. So a really cool resource. The one that I do want to bring to your attention, it's called Adobe Color or color.adobe.com. If you're ever wondering about how to find colors, this will give you, without being a designer, ways that you can find complementary colors, monochromatic. So if you wanted something that was in a color line, but you can pick out and use all these different colors within a design. So if you're in there and it asks you for the color, you can either do it by these RGB values or what they call a hex value. And if you get to that point, you're wondering about color, this is just kind of a bonus I wanted to throw in there. Just give me a call and I can walk you through how to do colors and things like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it really is. I use this actually when I was doing my house design. One of the things you can do here is if you look up here, there's a little image for a photo. If I were to, let's see, where is, oh, so here is an ePortfolio. If you upload a photo, it grabs colors from the photo and gives you a color palette that is used within there. So what I did was I took pictures of rooms that I really liked in design and I'd upload them in and then it would give me the color values. I can move these around and go, well, what's this blue right there? And it's going to add that blue in and I can get the color numbers and then take it to a paint store. So a little side thing. It's kind of cool. Really, that's all I wanted to go through was to give you the link to these resources, kind of give you an overview of how I've organized the resources. I've got to go through and update a few things. I did this last year, and I've noticed a few of them have changed, and some of them charge now. They aren't free anymore, so I was kind of bummed about that. They all used to be free. I think Fodor was one of them that used to be. I'll have to look, but I'm going to go through and curate those and make sure that they are all free resources. The main ones I use, again, Pixabay and FreePick and Pixels are probably the three main things I use. I use FreePick mostly for those vectors, and then Pixabay's for pictures and movies and things. That was really about it for the free resources. It was just kind of give you a little tune into what we have already out there. If you do have questions about usage rights, where to find things. If you're looking for a specific image and you can't find it, I do have a lot of experience going through and using all these different resources to really hone in on good images for that. If you have questions on getting them into Canvas or any of your documentation, just let me know or let us in CTL know, and we'd be more than happy to help you. Any questions?
Everything now that I can get to, all the CTL resources are now at the pcctl.weebly.com.
Yes, everything that we're adding in here for the CTL, this is our main resource website. We still have links that go from our Phoenix College page there that has your standard faculty resources, but we've created this PCCTL Weebly site because we needed to be able to expand and have a lot more content in there without bogging down the Phoenix College site.
Yeah.
So here's the main page. We have weekly updates on what highlights of things that are coming up, projects and things that we're working on. We have some quick links here for some of the main things that we get asked for, the pieces, syllabus creator, picture roster, some Canvas best practices and things like that. And then at the top, there is just a ton of information up here. I won't even go through it, but there's a lot of pieces that we've done over, like teaching with technology, all the different resources for curation, assessment, social networking, digital tools, and more. So feel free to explore that when you have a weekend and nothing better to do. But lots of great information out there. Anything else?
Tell me again, were we under resources when we went into all of these?
Correct. So if you go into resources and then instructional media.
Instructional media. Let me write.
Yep. And then right at the top is the free photo area there.
Instructional media.
Kind of a bonus here, if you look at PictoChart, you may have been in one of my presentations when I talk about PictoChart. If you're looking for design inspiration and you're looking for ways that you can do flyers and banners and things like that, you can always go to a site like this, PictoChart, pick a format like flyers, and you can go through and look at all the different things that they show here. Like here's some fall flyers, party flyers, and there's all kinds of free resources in here for you to be able to create flyers themselves, but also really neat design portfolio pieces that are in here to give you ideas for what you can do on your own as well. So that's another cool item in there.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, you know where to find us over at CTL at phoenixcollege.edu, or you can always give us a call, drop us an email, or stop by second floor of F building.
Yay.
Yay. Thanks much. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.